To you about is, first of all, asking you a question. Over the last 2 years, which Canadian city has had the strongest economic growth? Montreal. Montreal, the second largest city in Canada, has had 2 years in a row now, 2018 and now 2019, has been leading the way in economic growth. Quebec, the province of Quebec, has been enjoying an unprecedented economic development. We're looking at unemployment rates that haven't been equaled in over 40 years. We're looking at industry and development, especially in high tech, in clean tech, in the life sciences, in aerospace, that's been unprecedented. A diversification of the economy that is centered around Montreal. There's about 1 million people living on the island of Montreal and 4.5 million people that live in the greater Montreal area. Just in the high-tech sector, there's close to 300,000 people working in the high-tech sector in Montreal. There's over 200,000 students. We have 11 universities, 60 colleges in the Montreal area. We have over 150,000 people working in just the management and administration sector. Montreal is a platform for several different markets because of our diversity. Over 140 languages are spoken in Montreal. And with that diversity, the French culture, the English culture, and the international culture, well, that gives us access to the European market, the African market, and of course, the US Northeast and North American markets. So we've developed very strong relationships with the academic sector, with the universities, and developed hubs, research and development hubs. We were talking about AI earlier today. Well, in AI, Montreal has one of the 3 major AI hubs in the world. Some of the best researchers in AI in the world are based in Montreal. Some of the most important players in the AI sector are in Montreal. Same thing in the aerospace business. Same thing in the clean tech business. I was the environment minister, and we've set up important programs to develop the clean tech sector. Same thing in the overall development of the aerospace, as I was saying, clean tech, high tech, all of these different sectors with the life sciences sector, all the medical research. We were talking about medical research earlier. Montreal is one of the strong research centers in the life sciences. So, what does this mean? It means also that doing business in Montreal is cheaper. In the high-tech sector, it's on average 20% cheaper than anywhere else in Canada to develop in high-tech. When you add the research and development R&D federal tax credit, the Canadian government tax credit, with the Quebec government's tax credit for research and development, R&D, well, what you have is, depending on the project, 30 to 40% of a tax credit for research and development. We have the cheapest hydroelectric energy across Canada, less than 4 cents a kilowatt hour. So what we have is the winning conditions. If you look at real estate, the real estate in Montreal is cheaper than Toronto or Vancouver. And our universities are some of the best in the world. McGill University is world-renowned in a lot of different sectors. Also, Concordia University is well-renowned also in business. And we have major universities that distinguish themselves in a lot of different sectors. So you're seeing right now a real transformation going on in Montreal and in Quebec. There are a lot of businesses also that are looking for partners in Quebec and in Montreal. So the time is right. There are a lot of government programs to develop high tech, to develop clean tech, to develop new technologies. So both the provincial government and the federal government programs bring together a lot of funds that can be aligned to invest in projects. So Montreal is really showing the way right now in the development of high tech, the development of aerospace, the development of clean tech, of life sciences. And also on the immigration front, what's going on is it is, in the foreseeable future, quite probable that the immigration quotas will rise over the next few years in Quebec, because immigration is a key component of the economic development of Montreal and of Quebec. So as you're seeing right now is, I wanted to really introduce you to this reality, because obviously there's been a lot of development across Canada, but now there's a lot of opportunities growing in Montreal and the rest of Quebec, and there's a lot of business to be done across Montreal and across Quebec. So, and just to give you an example, just in the real estate sector, right now in Montreal, the most important project, the most important real estate project going on right now in Montreal is a 61-story condo tower in downtown Montreal. And that project is being developed by a Chinese-Canadian company, Rivia, who is partnered with Chinese companies. So just to tell you, there's a lot of growth and development right now going on. And as my friend Claude was saying earlier, we are growing by working together. And that's how we will be able to continue our growth, by developing these partnerships. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. And